Hello everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. On this perfect day in the US, it's Valentine's Day. Not very familiar with it, but everybody's enjoying themselves and showing a special love for one another. As we move further into the celebration of everything in life, you find you can actually elevate much more than you do at normal times, because we're all acknowledging a connection, and we're acknowledging it through a whole different method than what we've been doing before. As soon as we realize we're all connected, it switches on. But when you wish to connect with everyone with that special heartfelt feeling of Valentine's Day, it switches on further. And because of that, we're able to actually elevate everyone through the celebration. And we're all joining together today to lift ourselves way past where we've ever been before. Not into the world that we know, but into the world that we've never seen before. The one that encourages what we're feeling right now. We've never seen it because we never looked. But now we should look and see it as a whole new world and a new dimension that only comes to you on special occasions under normal circumstances. So we're about to switch on permanent special occasions. And if you can feel the extent of that, you'll see that we're going into a whole new area of living. When we permanently switch on not only the celebration, but the special events, they all flood back into our life. All the special feelings of family, of friends, of celebration, of excitement, of doing what comes natural to you and without any pressure at all. It starts to take its place in a world that you've never seen before. It doesn't take its place in your old world. It doesn't take its place anywhere except in that endless compartment that you have available to you for this purpose. Even though it sounds strange, it's very familiar, very easy to live with, and very exciting, to say the least. And so you can extend that very thing that you thought only comes on special occasions to everybody all the time. You can extend all the language that we have that's uplifting for ourselves and for everyone else. And it's that hidden language of the quiet smile, the little bit of mischief, the frivolity, the excitement, the doing everything out of the normal that you do on a special occasion, particularly when you meet friends and family that you haven't seen for a long time. And now we can see one another from a whole different angle. And it's not a perspective. It's just seeing people as they are and not as they present. So at this time, on this special day, you find you're able to break through all the perspectives that everybody has ever presented to you. You can break through all the interactions, all the decisions, all the permanent or semi-permanent rules that you've placed around one another, because you don't see them. And the reason you don't see them is because you are in that special world of magic and miracles where you came from. And we're about to make sure that you stay there every day of your life, every moment, without purpose and without any need for authority. There's no procedure. There's just familiarity and a decision that doesn't come from you. It comes from all that you're made of, all that excites you, all that connects you to those special people in your life and in previous lives. Those who have passed, those you can't see, and those that you know are part of the universe and the universal family that you belong to. They're all about to come out of the woodwork, every one of them, because you can see them in a whole different way when you're in this special mode that's not going to disappear ever again. So just with a slight movement, we can put it all back in place and make sure that it stays. And expand it and open it so there's no pressure, there's no need to even decide what's happening. So every being that's ever been associated with you or ever will be will meet in this field of perfection that has all the adjectives you can think of. Love, consideration, honor, all of them. And they don't need to be defined. So now we can talk about elevation, but there's no reference. This is floating to wherever you need to float. This is another multi-dimensional dimension that appears in every world and in every space and in every part of you to make you actually work as a perfect being. Because as you think of the special things about just today, of Valentine's Day, you extend to everyone something that you have not accessed before until last Valentine's Day. And as we amplify that and make space for it, it's going to be there forever. So that it can grow and nourish and bring into the world all those special beings that are lined up to make everything so much better for all of us. They're all lined up and they're coming in from all sorts of directions, as children, as people that appear out of nowhere, as someone that you thought was walking around the streets for years and is suddenly there now, as someone you meet as you walk along the road, as a friend that you look at and go, wow, I didn't realize you were so beautiful. And as you extend that special feeling of Valentine's Day, you will extend all the unknown, perfection and beauty, and the gifts that you brought to the world. We've always wondered how we will deliver those gifts, and this is it. This is how you deliver them. This is how the hairs stand up on your arms and your head and legs and everywhere, because all the energy that you can deliver, you're delivering. You have an excitement about the fact that you can elevate everything from everybody's field to where they can buzz as well. And they can have that shining light from their eyes, from their body, from every part of them, and from everything they look at and feel. And the trees, and all the birds and animals will stop and look at you. Even the tiny little critters will stop and look at you, because you are there to energize their world. And you will start to realize that it's more than a take world. We have energies that we can deliver to everyone and everything, to nourish them, to make the trees grow, to bring the water. And it's done by delivering our uniqueness into the world, into everything we touch, see, and feel. And as we deliver that essence, you find the sense of Valentine's Day in the middle. And it gives to everyone more than just the heart and the love and the flowers. It gives to everyone the essence of life beyond life. Essence of life that carries us way past anything anybody could possibly imagine. And when you walk out and meet somebody in the morning and say, Happy Valentine's Day, they almost come off the ground. So imagine doing that every day, for every reason, no matter what it is. We have the opportunity to change our default setting in our inner program and say, yes, I'll have this one. So no matter what happens, how deep you go in the hole, as soon as you reset, you go to this. As soon as you access yourself to say, wow, there's something wrong, up comes the default. And it'll go, boing. No, there's not. And that default is what we encourage in our children when they're young. And then we hand them off to somebody else to deplete it. So now we know how to reset it. And it's just by moving a little bit of energy and saying, reset. This is the one. This is the one that I want to come back to every time I default on anything. And it's not in your mind. It's in a feeling that you can actually come back to. You'll actually come back to Valentine's Day. And you'll get the feeling of it. And you'll go, yes, I know what that means. And for those throughout the world who don't know what Valentine's Day is, they know other days that are just the same. They know other special interactions that are just the same. And those things have been embedded in their default system now. You don't have to do any more. It's done. So we start from here. What an incredible place to start from. And we start from here every day. Even if we don't know where to go, this will be where we start. Even if you think there's problems and you go, oh no, boing, wow, that's great. And because of that, you'll start to move those special energies that make you light, make you young, encourage movement, encourage special actions, and encourage you to be just as natural as you can possibly be. So as we move forward, we can always go higher, love more, encourage more, but we don't have to have a set of rules or a set of procedures, because we're starting from the point where everybody will look at you and go, wow, what happened to you? Because you're glowing, you're brilliant, you're sending a message all the time, a message of, wow, I really, really think the highest of you. I really feel the highest of you. And I give you the gift that I brought into this world of a perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. So as we listen to one another, we'll find that it is just like waiting until you can give more. It's like when there's a big family around and you can't get a word in, you can't get your present across. You're waiting on the line to give a grandparent a great present that you've built. And the patience sometimes almost wears out, and then the excitement comes in when you see the eyes of the recipient grab you and go, yes. And there's an interaction that none of us can describe. And that interaction is where we're looking to be all the time. There is no direct connection, there's just everything. Everything moving, every goodwill. I don't have all the words. But now, we don't need the words because we've got the actual thing. That's why I run out of descriptive words sometimes, because when you're sitting there, it's hard to describe where you're sitting. It's hard to describe how you're feeling unless you get out of it and look back. So for everyone to be there is the ultimate. And that's when you start looking at one another and nodding and saying, yeah, because you're receiving the transmission from one another, you're feeling uplifted every minute, and there's nothing to use your brain for. So it relaxes and settles and starts to work with the energies, starts to talk to nature, starts to know what's coming from somebody before they say it. And a smile comes to your face before the words appear. And as we move further into that, we won't even bother with explanations. There'll just be the excitement that we normally have on Valentine's Day, giving one another gifts, wishing one another the best of everything, uplifting our heart and the heart of everyone, taking away all ailments, and never going into the depths of anything. So all the ups and downs of the world end up being ups and ups. Never any downs. Because you won't allow it. It's like being on top of the trampoline, as I say. You can go down on it, but it'll shoot you straight back up again. And this is the multi-dimensional dimension that we experience on Valentine's Day. Because it comes from everywhere, it's created by people, and it makes people feel good. Even the elements around us settle, change, listen, because we're interested, because we want to give. And you can walk to the trees and you can help them do their job. You can take the energy from a tree, enhance it and deliver it back, and enhance a tree that needs more energy, and connect them together through the earth, through you, through whatever. You can change the pattern in the earth to encourage the best of everything for everyone. And it's not awareness, and it's not consciousness. It's something that's innate. Innate is a good word. It's been eaten in. It's innate in the being that's present here on earth. So in talking about all this, it's really encouraging to feel that everyone knows exactly where I'm at. And I can rekindle a few things that each one of you have experienced over the years or will experience in the future. And that's to be able to enhance everything and everyone just because you can. You don't even have to know the description of it or how to do it, because you already know. But you do need that default setting of the perfection of celebration with one another on a very, very special day here in America. The gift of love has been depleted by making it one thing. The gift of Valentine's Day is everything. The gift of a grandparent is everything. There is no division. There's no explanation. But a grandparent looks at a child or even a grown-up and something special happens. It's a totally unlimited connection that just rebuilds a person's life in seconds. This is the characteristic that we all have right now. This is where we start from. This is the only thing that you don't need experience for. It is natural. It is perfect. And it's time for it to actually be the only way we can be. So we're developing lots of things every minute. But there's no comparison between any of us. We always have a special gift for one another. Always. Because we're all so different. And without that special gift, we sometimes don't operate at our best. So in the middle of all sorts of interactions with other people's worlds, we can now just reset and revert to the perfection and watch that world change. Just as quickly as the little girl who's waiting to give the present to the grandmother. The second she gets eye contact and it's her turn, the whole world that she was jumping up and down about disappears. The terrible sensation of waiting behind someone who's much bigger than you disappears. The beauty of the interaction just fills the room. And I can see that you can all do that. And I can see that it will be the most perfect way of living every day. Because the series of complaints, the series of discomforts disappears immediately. And it's not just eye contact, it's a contact that's beyond the vision. And you could be turned in the opposite direction and you know immediately that your grandmother's attention is on you, and you freeze and turn around and find a big smile. So all this interaction with one another is exactly the same. We'll freeze and turn around and see a big smile, even if the person is 10,000 miles away. So know your character is not the character that you present in the world. Your character is the character you present. When you look at a grandparent who is really, really waiting to see you. We can go on with all sorts of analogies, but the greatest thing is the reality of who we are. That reality is just an experience of what we've already experienced, but it's all the time and better. From today, I think you'll start to see a lot of things really come together in everybody's life. I'm almost positive that this is a major turning point where we'll soften the movement of the earth. We'll encourage it to move to where it's more comfortable. We'll allow it to actually reshape without rumbling. Because the only reason it rumbles is because we're saying don't change. The only reason it's hard is because we're hard. And with what we can see in all our tracking of seismic and other things, we can soften that and let the earth move because it's a being just like we are. If you had to sit in one place all the time, you'd start to crack as well. So let it move and be gentle and soft and allow the respect to go into the earth instead of the fear. The respect that it needs can come from us. We can deliver all that just with slight movement, a slight understanding. And as we see the harsh predictions, we just soften them. Not object, just soften. As you would a young child. You can wait until they finish kicking their feet, or you can just soften them. Once you soften, the whole aspect of harshness disappears. So everybody's ability doesn't need to be enhanced. It just needs to be what it is. The excitement of each one of us about the ability of one another, without comparison, without definition. So like the greeting on Valentine's Day, you get it all. Beyond what we can actually describe. As we listen, we don't hear. Because we're like the little child, we're waiting to get in and give our present. And that's how we're supposed to be. Waiting to give our gift. And in that meantime, we're receiving all the other gifts, and we're getting higher and higher and higher, and saying, wow, isn't this going to be great when I can deliver mine? It'll be better and better and better. And here we go. We're delivering our gifts to one another. We mentioned that this time would come when we would re-enter the earth and bring our greatest box of tricks you've ever come across, with all the magic, all the incentives, all the mystery, and lots of mischief, to brighten everybody and to sparkle their world and turn on the endless energy that's generated from each person. So stay with that. Feel the field mixing and going in opposite directions and never touching. And know that you've uplifted everyone. So we're going to have a break for 5 minutes, and we'll be back with a little bit more. Thank you. So welcome back. I'm sure that you all felt a little bit of a difference in the break, and you didn't fall back into the hole like it's a common practice, because that default, that reset default, is actually in place. With everybody I connect with, that I can feel right now, I need to give a guarantee that at a moment's notice, you can set your default to the most perfect combination of anything in your life. And if you have any trouble, like if it takes any more than half a second, just see me right now. And I don't care if it's 50 years' time. And you will switch straight to the default of that special time where Valentine came and touched your heart. And because of that, it will never disappear. And I will be available through all sorts of channels that you haven't even opened yet. So the more you move forward, the more of the mystical being that you use, the more you will find that in the world of your Creator there is no limit, and that you are everywhere, and you will find everyone everywhere. Not even in the time you call now, but in the time before now, because it all comes to you in a way that suits you the best. It's a little bit like picking up something that somebody wrote 10 years ago, and you say, wow, that applies to me right now. And you wonder how that happened. Somebody sat down and wrote this for me 10 years ago? The answer is yes. It's happening all the time. And you are writing now for people 10 years previously as well. So nothing's out of place or out of time. Nothing's out of balance or out of sequence. And the systems that we had put in place around us over the years can still continue. But you can walk out of time and back into time wherever and whenever you wish. You can step out of time and you can step back in at a different place. And if you want time to move, it will move. If you want to arrive somewhere that before you can possibly get there by normal measurement, you just do it. Everything around you will change to suit. And everybody's experienced the strange thing of being sure they're running late for something and arriving there early. And it seems impossible by linear measurement, but not by our measurement, not by the mystery that you bring into the world. The world is not sequential. It is not as it seems, and it's not as is delivered to you. The world is as you deliver to the world. So see the difference, and because you can say to somebody, see that over there, and they say yes, it's not because you're in agreement. They're seeing something totally different to what you see. They may even be seeing it in a different momentum, a different time rate. It may have had to speed up for them because they were focused in another world. They may create a dimension for the two of you so you can both see the same thing. And I've often said, you know, if you're all sitting around a table and there's 30 or 40 of you all yabbering at once, you can be talking to someone across the table or next to you or down the other end of the table in amongst all that, and you understand one another because you create a dimension and you communicate. You've all been doing it all your life and before. And so now to play with dimensions is a little bit useless because they actually respond to you. That's just like the analysis trying to run the real. Dimensions create as you desire, not because of your mind and not because that's what you need. They will come and go to make sure everything interacts correctly so that no person runs into one another, so that no thought pattern affects another. The only way a thought pattern can affect another person or another thought pattern is if you stop the movement of life. If you put the brakes on, then you'll all run into one another. But while you keep moving, you keep chasing your spirit, adventuring into the world of your Creator, inviting yourself in there and standing tall as you possibly can, then everything works automatically. The beauty of life is actually a reflection of the beautiful gift that you give to everything else around you, to the world, not just to people, to everything. The beauty of who you are reflects even in the concrete you walk on. So now, because we have a default that includes all this, we don't have to worry about it. But it's great to play with. It's great to throw a little bit of mischief somebody's way. To be a little bit, what's the right word, flamboyant when it's not expected. To invite people to experience your world without even telling them, and watching them as they see you light up. And they're a little bit embarrassed by the fact that they're lighting up as well. And so when someone's trying to be serious, a little bit of a or a wink or a nod or a bit of funnies, and they can't stay where they are. So as we spread our magic and we throw the sparkles around everywhere, we know that we're coming from the right place. We know that everything we're delivering is the essence of who we are, the essence of our Creator. And it provides every bit of magic that's needed for the most profound miracles. And it all comes from this beautiful level of gift. And you watch all the miracles that occur around you. You watch the people that get well. You watch them find their way to the right place. You watch everything fall into place and then just smile and know that it's because, not that you decided, because you had the best gift for them of all time. And that's perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future, and everything else. So now we're in major celebration mode. And you can't have the newspaper in the middle of the celebration. Everybody knows that. And why can't you? Because the news is not a celebration. Only thing you can have in the middle of it is family, children, nature, good feelings, and a brilliant future. So we're in that mode, and we will provide it. We'll provide the absolute magic that elevates everybody every time, without fail. Because we're all moving, interacting, following our spirit, and going further and further and further into that magic world of our Creator, where we belong. And it's appearing around us. It's appearing in the earth, in the trees, in the birds, in our friends, in what we eat, in what turns up in our presence, and even right down to the little gifts that we give one another that are most times not physical. The little gift that I get from each person, much more important to me than anything major. Like if someone gave me a car, it wouldn't be the same thing as a beautiful smile and a special feeling that I know is my future with that person. That little spark of light that comes from a child when they look at you, almost blows you over, is worth every interaction with everything in the world in a fraction of a second. And you may feel that you've forgotten many of these things, but you never do. They're part of you. You don't have to bring them into your mind. You are actually generating them every second of your life, because those interactions are so profound. You start to take them on and do exactly the same to everybody else. So the more we affect one another, the more we generate. It's not the way everybody thinks. The easier it is, the more it happens. The quicker it is, the more power it has. The less said, the more effective. So the slightest feeling of beauty towards somebody or towards everybody is enough to blow everyone's mind. And that's the purpose of it. And that's why a child does it. That's why other people just look at someone and send this great burst of everything in a fraction of a second, and the person goes, whoa, what was that? And then you might not ever see them again. So have a lot of fun with the interaction with the world, and particularly right now, the interaction with the earth, with the trees, with the birds, and with the flexibility of everything. Our ability to cancel harshness is amazing. It is one of our greatest gifts. And we can make something go gentle with the slightest movement. You try with an animal that's panicking, and you can pat them from a distance, and they will become gentle until you're able to walk up and pat them. This is the great ability we brought to this earth, to settle the anxieties and to smooth the waters. Now we're going a little bit further, and I'd just like you to smooth the earth its action, people's interaction with the earth, and people's expectation. We've managed to come through all sorts of predictions and say, no, that's not on. We're not going to have that right now. And we settle the earth or the prediction or whatever. And the inevitable disappears into a beautiful, smooth life for everyone. So make sure that in your awakening hours, you see everything as Valentine's Day, as soft, gentle, and as powerful as a grandmother's smile. And you will never go wrong. And you only have to do it for a fraction of a second each morning. When you wake, you allow yourself to reset. You'll feel it. And the vibration that's been around you for several weeks now will start to settle. It's one that's saying, I need your attention. And your attention is to make everything smooth and gentle, exciting and brilliant for everyone. I have a friendly fly back again. So there are many, many new things about to appear in the world. Look at them and say to yourself, well, about time. Nothing that appears in the world is new to you. You are all involved in everything that's coming here, even technology. You're all involved in the beauty of what you're bringing to everyone's life. And you're all involved in making sure past, present and future is accepted as something that belongs to everyone. And it has no sense of relativity, particularly with any rules, regulations, laws, or shoulds or shouldn'ts. So now we can just reiterate Valentine's Day. And to those who don't experience this throughout the world, I can tell you it's new to me too, but the feeling's not. The feeling and the sensation is beyond anything I can describe. So I thank you all for that. In fact, for every special feeling that's coming my way right now, I deliver the same to everyone. So make sure that you say hi to everyone, and all those that are listening or listen later on know that I'm totally connected to each one of you. I'm fully aware of each one of you. It may sound strange that I'm aware of someone in the future or someone in the past, but I am. I don't know how to explain that, but it's true, and I'm sure you can all experience the same, because it belongs in the world of your Creator. It's available to everyone, and you don't have to do anything to get it. So remember nothing. Do nothing. Follow your spirit and watch. You'll be so busy you won't know where it came from. So until next time, thanks very much everyone, and we'll talk again next week.